May I ask you guys
I know.
a couple questions about the whole OF thing and its implications? Yeah. Are you two, you're already married, you three actually, are you three concerned at all about like future partner knowing about the OF stuff and stuff like that in the past and being like turned off? Like, is that a concern for you guys at all?
I think it's always a concern. It's definitely a thought that I had prior to actually doing OnlyFans. There's a lot of things that we have to consider, or I considered prior to doing it. But yeah, it's always a concern, like meeting somebody new and having to say, just because there's always going to be either some judgment or not. But at the end of the day, like, it's my job also that if I do decide to be with somebody, to make them comfortable enough. I definitely would leave OnlyFans, because you got to compromise, and I would make them a priority, and truly, like, what I want is a partnership. And so, but am I going to be with somebody that's going to judge me? Absolutely not. But I am going to be transparent and authentic, because that's the only way to be. We're not going to be playing games.
Yeah.
So.
What about you two?
I think I kind of agree with you, actually, a little bit. Compromising, communication is key. If they're okay with it, I'm pretty sure people who have thought about doing it might do it if they have a chance to do it. So I think I would definitely.
What about you?
Would I be concerned that they would be upset about it? Honestly, just from like my personal experience, I haven't had anyone in my real life have a problem with it. Mostly because the content that I do, like, even if it's mainstream, I'm doing one scene a month. So it's not like, people make corn out to be dirty and dicks every day and like that sort of shit. But no, it's occasional. It's like a business. And like I said, I'm not ready to settle down until I'm already out of the industry. So, I don't think I would waste time on somebody that would have a problem with it anyway. Yeah.
And you three said that you guys want to have kids beyond where you're currently. Are you guys ever concerned that like your kids will like get bullied in school if their friends find your stuff?
Yes. Yeah, definitely a concern. But like I said, I'm setting myself up for a future. I don't know. I think at the point when I would have to have that conversation with kids, it would obviously be an uncomfortable conversation, but everybody has things in their past that they have to address. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I would rather have a child than not. Yeah.
Stokey_exists donated $100. Stoked you guys are back. Hope your neck is feeling better, Brian. And really happy to see Shania back. She's the absolute GOAT.
Yo, Stoically Exist. Thanks for that $100, bro. To continue with what we were saying, the reason why I ask is because like when I look at the whole OnlyFans thing, like I've heard stories of like kids who like killed themselves because they got bullied so bad in school and stuff, and like.
So I think that's where it's super important to have a good relationship with your child, where you're always communicating with them, you're always talking to them, you're asking them how school's going, you're understanding or noticing changes in their behavior patterns. If your kid's getting bullied, you're gonna notice a behavioral change in them. I have an 11-year-old stepson, so if he had a bad day at school, I can tell when he walks in that door if something was off in his day. If he's lying to me, I can tell by the way he's looking at me, the way he's talking. So when you have that communication with your child and you have that strong bond, can I prevent the bullying from happening? Absolutely not. Can I prevent something happening further by having that level of communication with them and knowing that something's happening and preventing anything further from happening? Absolutely. Because at that point then the school can get involved and stopping the bully from bullying them, right? The parents of the bully are now involved, and now they're parenting their child to ensure that their child's not bullying my child anymore. So I feel like if you have those levels of communication and understanding in that relationship with your child, there's ways to prevent those severe things from happening. I can't prevent the bullying, but I can prevent it from getting any further than that.
What do you guys think?
I just feel like it's not that serious. I don't know. People get bullied for all sorts of things. So I think I would set my kid up with a life where they would be, 1, safe, 2, financially stable, and 3, have a good relationship with me. So if anything were to take place, I would be able to take care of it.
I don't know. All I know is I would not want my mom to have pornography all over the internet.
That's fair.
You have to
I
think
wouldn't
too,
either.
like, what are the chances of, like, as a child, for me at least, because I do it with my husband, what are the chances of my child walking into my bedroom and seeing me do it?
But that's so different. That's so
They can
different.
look it up on the
internet.
It's a totally different
They
thing.
can look it up on the internet, but it's
Getting made fun of by all of your peers for months on end is totally different than like accidentally walking in on your parents having sex.
But also, it's exclusive content that's behind a paywall. So unless a child has access to a credit card and can spend money on a paywall, then
also
most of the content is behind a paywall.
to counter that, people will go and they'll subscribe and then they'll download it off of people's profiles and
Right,
put it
no,
on
I
all
understand.
over the
Leaking
internet.
is a thing. I understand that content gets leaked, but there's ways to prevent content from getting leaked. Like there's DCMA takedowns. So I actually, a couple times a week, will go out on the internet to search my name and see if there's any of my content out there. And I use legal action and DCMA takedown to take that content down. So some of it doesn't always get taken down based on the country that it's in, because they don't obviously fall under those legal actions. But if you're maintaining and managing as much as you can try to prevent it.
Well,
Mine's out there.
even if the children that are potentially bullying your child, they don't even have access to the actual material. I mean, you guys promote your material on Twitter, Instagram. So even just by them knowing that you have an OnlyFans, I mean, even some of the stuff that gets posted on Instagram and Twitter, et cetera, Reddit, a lot of girls will post some of the content on Reddit for free and then have more of their premium stuff paywalled. They still have access to those things, and then they will eventually know that that his mom has or her mom has OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there. And that's a choice that I made, right? Going into this, I knew, being a stepmother currently and wanting to have more children in the future, I knew this was a decision that I was making. And when you're making a decision like that and there's other people relying on you, you have to understand the repercussions that can come out of it. So, you know, you have a plan, right? A plan of action, or you understand that these can come up, and when it comes up, you're not blindsided by it. I can't prevent it from happening. Obviously, there's promotions and, you know, other websites and stuff like that, but you just deal with
Once
it
you
as it
post
comes.
something on the internet, it's on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine's out there.
No,
If
and
it
I
happens, it
understand that,
happens,
and
I
I'm
guess.
not-
But no.
You can't prevent it from happening, but you can handle it accordingly to hope it doesn't go any further.
Okay.
Can I actually say something?
Yeah. No, you're not allowed to say anything on this podcast. Go ahead.
Putting into yours perspective, I actually had a conversation relating to yours. My auntie has a little one. She's 4 years old. I actually did tell my auntie about my OF, and she didn't feel good about it. She told me to put myself in perspective in her little
Sorry,
one.
hold on.
Rippy donated $100.68. Ladies, you are missing the point. One of the worst things for a young man to hear is about how his mom gets railed for money. Prevention or not, a son will be bullied for that fact. Guys agree?
100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I understand the point that's being made. It's a choice that I'm deciding to make, right? And that's my choice for my family. Your mother might make a different choice for you, or someone else's mother might make a different choice for them, but I made the decision that I'm making. And as long as I'm confident in my decision and I can back myself up and my husband can back me up, then we just handle it as a family how we see fit.
That all sounds good. Here's the thing, though. I remember, like, when I was in middle school and high school and stuff, I had a lot of stuff that was going on in my life, in my personal life at home. My parents were going through a divorce. My mom was ill. And, you know, those are like these really important formative years of your life. And what you're saying about being a responsible mother with like a tight connection to her kids and like closely watching how they feel on a daily basis totally makes sense. That's good parenting to do that. But also at the same time, like I look at something like that and I'm like, man, like if I was a kid and my mom, you know, had pornography on the internet and all these kids were teasing me about it, it's like you could be in one of two situations as a kid when you're that age. You could be in a situation where you don't have to worry about stuff like that and you're allowed to flourish and like, you know, embrace life and grow as a person. Mm-hmm. Or you could be in a situation where you have this like constant mental stress that's wearing on you. Mm. It's taking down your social status at your school. You're the kid the kids make fun of. You know, like you don't, you don't show up to school and you're like, oh man, I'm like pumped to meet my friends, like, and hang out today. It's like, fuck, I have to go to school today. Like, and I, you know, this kid might bully me and that kid might bully me. And this is why kids kill themselves when their parents have pornography online, you know? And like, I don't know, I don't know. Like I know, you know, you're a responsible adult, you're making your decisions for yourself and your family and stuff, but I feel like it comes at the expense of children, which is not something that they're given the option. They wouldn't want to sign up for that.
Absolutely.
You know, like I wouldn't want my parents to make decisions that come at the expense of my mental health during the most important formative years of my life, you know?
That's like, I 100% agree, and I not necessarily agree.
Closer to the mic.
I understand where you're coming from. I think too, you have to think, I don't plan on doing this long term. Like this isn't something I want to do for the rest of my life until the day that I die. I have bigger plans and bigger goals that are more long term and sustainable. So I feel like too, you know how many people, like there's so many people in this industry. So my content isn't in the forefront of everything. It's not, there's going to be so many more content creators that come about in the industry, and there's so much more mainstream content also in this industry that if someone's going on a website, for example, and they're searching something specific, only if I'd done that specific content or have it out on a mainstream site for someone to search, are they going to find it. How many more content creators are going to come after me that are going to be in the forefront of these search engines until mine comes up, right? It's always an option. It's always a what if, right? And I completely understand where you're coming from, but I feel like there's a lot of different factors that come into it that it could happen or it couldn't happen, or...
Okay, I got one more question. It's an interesting one.